The morning sun had just begun to stretch across the quiet neighborhood when the shrill bark of a police canine shattered the calm. Officer Daniel Reeves, a young but seasoned patrolman, had been walking his loyal partner Rex down a familiar suburban street when the dog suddenly froze. His ears shot up, his muscles tightened, and then came that deep, urgent bark that Daniel had learned never to ignore. It wasn't the playful bark of excitement or the sharp yelp of surprise. It was the kind of bark that signaled danger, distress, or something profoundly wrong. Rex was staring intently at a garbage truck idling by the curb, his paws clawing at the steel frame, his nose pressed to the back of the truck. At first, Daniel thought maybe it was just the smell of old food scraps, or perhaps a raccoon trapped inside. But then he saw something that made his blood run cold. The garbage bag inside the truck moved. Before we continue deeper into this gripping story, take a moment to support our channel, Pawsitive Tales. If you believe in kindness, second chances, or the loyalty of animals who so often see what we humans overlook, please like this video, share it with others, comment your thoughts, and don't forget to subscribe. Stories like this deserve to be heard. Daniel's heart raced as he rushed toward the truck. The driver, confused by the commotion, stepped out and raised his hands in disbelief. Rex was now frantic, barking and pawing, his tail stiff like a warning signal. Daniel climbed onto the back, his fingers trembling as he tugged at the thick burlap bag. It was heavy, far heavier than ordinary garbage, and then, through a small tear, he saw a flash of skin. A human hand, desperately clutching the rough fabric. He yanked harder, and the truth spilled out like a nightmare. Inside the bag was a man, bruised, bound, and barely conscious. His eyes fluttered open, lips cracked, whispering for help. The scene was surreal. Neighbors had begun to gather, gasping and covering their mouths as they realized what was happening. This wasn't just trash. This was someone's life hanging in the balance. The man had been dumped, discarded like he didn't matter, but it was Rex's instincts that saved him. Daniel shouted for paramedics, his hands working quickly to untie the ropes digging into the man's wrists. The canine stood guard, barking fiercely at anyone who came too close, as if protecting the fragile flicker of life they had just uncovered. As sirens filled the air, Daniel couldn't help but think about the cruel twist of fate. What if he and Rex had taken a different route that morning? What if the garbage truck had driven off minutes earlier? The man, who they later learned was named Samuel, would have been crushed, lost forever to silence and shadows. Instead, because of Rex, a second chance had been pulled from the jaws of tragedy. At the hospital, doctors worked tirelessly to stabilize Samuel. His body was battered, his spirit even more so, but he was alive. The investigation revealed a chilling truth. Samuel had been targeted in a violent robbery, beaten and left for dead. The criminals had tried to erase him as if he were nothing more than refuse. Yet fate had intervened through the unshakable bond between a police officer and his dog. Days turned into weeks, and Samuel slowly recovered. He had no family nearby, no one to sit by his side through the long nights of pain and healing, but Daniel and Rex visited him faithfully. Rex would rest his head gently on Samuel's lap, offering comfort that words never could. And each time, Samuel stroked that strong, loyal dog, his eyes filled with tears, tears of gratitude, of sorrow, of hope. He often said that Rex hadn't just barked at a truck that day. He had barked life back into him. What made the story even more remarkable was what came after. Samuel, once broken and hopeless, began to rebuild. With encouragement from Daniel, he started volunteering at the canine training facility, finding purpose in helping other dogs like Rex prepare for lives of service. The bond he had formed with Rex had awakened something deep within him, the belief that no matter how discarded you feel, no matter how dark life becomes, there is always a chance to be found, to be rescued, and to start again. The community, too, was transformed by the story. News spread quickly, and soon the once quiet neighborhood became a place where neighbors greeted each other with warmth, where people looked out for one another more closely, inspired by the reminder that every life matters. Rex became a local hero, showered with treats, toys, and endless affection. But to Daniel, the true heroism wasn't in the attention or the praise. It was in the quiet, instinctive courage of a dog who refused to ignore what others might have. Overlooked. As Samuel regained his strength, he often told people that the day he was found was not just the day he was saved. It was the day he learned what unconditional loyalty and love truly meant. For him, it wasn't just survival, it was the rebirth of hope, and it all began with a single bark that refused to be silenced. And perhaps that is the heart of this story, that even in the darkest of places, when life seems to treat us like something disposable, there are forces of light, sometimes in the form of a loyal dog, that remind us we are worth saving, that no soul is trash, no life is meaningless, and sometimes salvation comes from the most unexpected companions. If this story touched your heart, please take a moment to like, comment, and subscribe to Pawsitive Tales. Share this story so others can feel the power of hope, loyalty, and second chances. Your engagement helps us bring more true, emotional stories to life, and it lets the world know that kindness still matters. Special request: comment below with the words "Every life matters" if you believe in second chances and the incredible bond between humans and animals.